Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of StudyIQ IAS in English, and there is an exercise that is ongoing right now, a military exercise that is Brahmastra, and over here the Brahmastra exercise is being conducted in Pokhran. Now why this is important? This is the first time that in this exercise Brahmastra, hellfire missiles had been fired from the Apache helicopters that are there in the that had been inducted into the Indian Army. Over here, this is very important because this has demonstrated the lethal precision in the desert sector by the Apache helicopters, and even when it comes to the validation of the training mission and the planning and maintenance that had been signified by this feat or the remarkable milestone that we have achieved in the desert region where this Brahmastra exercise is being conducted. Now, when it comes to the Apache helicopters, so we had signed a deal for the 22 Apaches in 2015 for the Indian Air Force. Later on, we also included 6 more Apaches that were specifically for the Army Aviation Corps. At the same time, when it comes to this transition that had been done in the desert region or in the Pokhran firing range. So this has shown the capability that we are moving and we are transitioning from the familiarization to combat readiness that had been shown by the military exercise that is being conducted in Pokhran, that is Brahmastra. At the same time, this complete exercise, it coincides with where General Upendra Dwivedi, he had taken a flight or a sortie in LCH Prachand as well. So ultimately, it becomes very important for us to go through the specifications of Apache helicopter and also LCH Prachand and also ALH Rudra as well. Alright, now when it comes to the complete specification of the Apache helicopter, these are the AH-464E Apache Guardian or the 6th version of the Apache helicopters. These are the multi-role attack helicopters and known by their nickname, that is flying tank. At the same time, the armament is, they have up to 16 hellfire missiles. They can carry 16 hellfire missiles in a one go. At the same time, they have 76 2.75-inch Hydra rockets as well, and it has also a 30mm M230 chain gun that fires 1200 rounds in 1 minute. At the same time, when it comes to the radar, it has a longbow fire control radar that has a 360-degree coverage. At the same time, when it comes to its performance, its speed can reach more than 150 knots or more than 279 km per hour. The service ceiling up to which this helicopter can reach is 20,000 feet. And also the climb, when it comes to the climb, it can climb more than 2,800 feet in 1 minute. That is within just less than 10 minutes it can reach its ceiling. At the same time, right now they had been inducted in 451 Army Aviation Squadron that is located in Jodhpur. Alright. At the same time, when it comes to the armament, so it has 3 major armaments. There are hellfire missiles, alright, that is AGM-114, and they are deployed for the precision anti-armor and high-value target neutralization. Most importantly, for the tanks, they are used for destroying the tanks which are there, the tanks which are on the surface. So these are basically air-to ground missiles which are there. These are the hellfire missiles. Then there is 70mm Hydra unguided rockets as well, and they are deployed for the area suppression and immediate destruction of the camps of the army or the enemies, not army. At the same time, it also has 30mm 230 chain gun that fires about 1200 rounds per minute, and it is deployed for the soft targets which are there on the ground along with infantry and for the close quarter suppression as well. So the major missile that it carries is the hellfire missile, and it is air to ground missile or AGM, and it is known for its high precision rate or strike capability. At the same time, it had been manufactured by Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and at the same time, the operational range is about, when it comes to yards, it is 550 to 12,030 yards, or in kilometers, it is 0.5 to 11 kilometers that these hellfire missiles they can strike. At the same time, when it comes to the speed, they can reach up to 1.3 Mach speed, and the propulsion is used as single stage solid fuel rocket motor that is used. Now, when it comes to the Apache helicopters, they are very important because the sensors that are there in the Apache helicopters, they are TADS and PNVS sensors that deliver that these helicopters, Apache helicopters, they can be engaged, or they can engage the targets even during night time. They have night vision, or also they can engage during the daytime and also in all weather. So this helicopter have all weather capabilities, as well as it can function during the day and during the night because of the sensors. At the same time, because of the radar that it has, which has 360-degree capability. So because of the 360-degree capability, this helicopter, it has the complete 360-degree overview of the various radar warning, the missile approaching warning, as well as the chef and flare dispensers are there, so that it can counter the shoulder-fired missiles or the man pads which are there, and even the low-lying aerial threats which are there. Now, like I said, that for your prelims, it is very important that we compare all these three attack helicopters that are there with India. The first one is the AH-64E Apache that we are talking about, and it is a heavy attack helicopter, and it can be deployed in desert as well as in plains. At the same time, the range of this helicopter is 1900 kilometers, and it has a ceiling of 20,000 feet. At the same time, major of the armament are the Hellfire missiles, as well as the Hydra 70 rockets that it has, and also it has the ability, very important, it has the ability to control the unmanned aerial vehicles or drones directly from its cockpit. Alright, then comes the LCH Prachand that was manufactured by the HAL or Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. It is a light combat helicopter, and also it has very important role over here because it is high altitude and it can function in the Himalayas as well. At the same time, when it comes to its range, it can fly for about 550 to 700 kilometers, and its service ceiling is 21,300 feet. When it comes to the major armaments that are there in the Prachand, that is MBDA Mistral air-to-air missile. At the same time, it has also the anti-tank guided missile, that is Helena, or also known by another name, that is Brahmastra. At the same time, when it comes to ALH Rudra, that is Advanced Light Helicopter Rudra, it is basically for the armed utility. The main purpose or the role is for the armed utility, and it is used for troop insertion and even for the light close air support. At the same time, when it comes to the range of ALH Rudra, this is 590 to 660 kilometers, and it can reach up to a ceiling of 20,000 feet. Again, it has the Helena or the Brahmastra missile. Along with this, it has the MBDA Mistral ATAM, that is air-to-air missile systems that are attached to it, and most importantly, it can operate in high altitude environments as well. So these are the three main combat or the attack helicopters that India has in its fleet. Now, when it comes to the military exercises, so there is Brahmastra exercise that is going on right now in the Pokhran region. At the same time, there are certain key military exercises which have been conducted in the past when it comes to 2026, and we have known that UPSC asks such type of questions. So we have CDS exam as well, that is on Sunday. So again, you may find such type of, match the following type of the questions that may be asked in your UPSC. So the first exercise is the Vajra Prahar 2026. This was held in February-March between India and US Special Forces at Bakalo in Himachal Pradesh. Then we have Dharma Guardian that was conducted in March. This was the exercise of India and Japan joint exercise that was conducted in Uttarakhand in Chaubatia. Then we have exercise Cyclone that was conducted in April, and this is the exercise of India and Egypt's Special Forces. This was the 4th edition, and it was held in Egypt in Anshas. Then we have Khanjar exercise that is between India and Kyrgyzstan that was conducted at Misamari in Assam, and also an Indian Army and ITBP joint exercise that was conducted in East Siang in Arunachal Pradesh, that is Agni Pariksha. At the same time, there are certain important naval exercises as well. Like for example, there is Milan 2026 exercise, that is India's multilateral naval exercise, and it was conducted in Visakhapatnam. All right. At the same time, we have Varuna exercise as well that will be conducted between India and France. Then there is Sea Dragon exercise. The Sea Dragon exercise is also a multilateral exercise that is between different nations. There is US, India, Australia, Japan and New Zealand as well. And this was conducted at Anderson Air Force Base in Guam. Then we have Bongo Sagar. Bongo Sagar is an exercise that is being conducted between India and Bangladesh Navy. And last it was conducted in March 2025. And there is Indra as well that will be held between India and Russia. At the same time, when it comes to the domestic exercises, there are certain exercises that had been conducted between the militaries of India, that is Indian Air Force, Navy and even Army. When it comes to Desert Hunt, it was a combined military exercise that was between Army, Navy and Air Force of India, and this was conducted at, or this was this was held at Air Force Station in Jodhpur. At the same time, there is Tiger Trump as well. Tiger Trump is actually the exercise that we had with USA, and this is human assistance and disaster relief exercise between India and USA. There is Tropics exercise as well, and over here there are theater level readiness exercises exercise that was undertaken, and we have Vayu Shakti exercise as well. That was the exercise of the Indian Air Force that was conducted recently at Pokhran again. And there is Agni Varsha exercise as well that was conducted again at Pokhran, and this was the exercise of Indian Army. So these are the important exercises that you must know about for the upcoming examination for the UPSC. At the same time, you can reach out to us and you can get connected to me on my Telegram, and that is by scanning this QR code or just by simply searching me on the Telegram, that is @Bhanwar BHANWAR _StudyIQ on the Telegram. So that would be all in today's session. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for joining me over here. And this is again a considerable milestone where we have fired for the first time, a maiden time that we have fired the Hellfire missile from the Apache helicopters at the Brahmastra exercise. That would be all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind. But do not forget to like the session, share the session, and also to subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss any of such videos in the future. And thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind.